This is probably the greatest accomplishment I've accomplished so far in my life. I know I've won the NBA championship, but there's no feeling like representing your national team and representing 12 million people.
Now, this might sound confusing to you. After all, Giannis is already an NBA champion, two-time MVP, Finals MVP, and yet a third-place medal at EuroBasket means more to him than all of that. The thing is, it's not just Giannis. For so many international stars, from Luka Dončić now to legends like Ginóbili, Gasol, Parker, playing for their country is the peak. And today, I'll explain you why that's the case. First up, for you non-Greek viewers, some context. For Greece, this bronze wasn't just another medal, it was history. The last time they reached the podium was all the way back in 2009 when they took bronze at the EuroBasket. Since then, nothing but heartbreak. They've had plenty of talent, but the results were constant disappointments. Quarterfinal exits, missed chances, and even failing to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. For a country that won the EuroBasket in 1987 and 2005, who were the silver medalists in the 2006 World Cup and has a proud tradition in European basketball, that drought hit hard. And Giannis has felt that frustration up close. He first suited up for the Greek national team back in 2014 at the World Cup when he was still just a skinny teenager finding his way in the NBA. Over the years, he's had flashes with Greece, like the 2019 World Cup where he was the reigning NBA MVP, but the team failed to even reach the quarterfinals. Then the 2022 EuroBasket where Giannis was the tournament's top scorer, but his team exited the tournament in the quarterfinals. Then there was the Paris Olympics where again, Giannis was dominant, but his team was eliminated before the medal rounds. Every summer he played, the pressure just grew, and when the results weren't coming in, the criticism became brutal at home. Greek media and fans questioned his leadership, his fit in FIBA basketball, and whether his NBA dominance could ever translate to medals on the international stage. That's why when Giannis won the EuroBasket bronze, it felt so massive. 16 years of waiting, with Giannis leading the way, finally ended. I think these raw emotions in the post-game flash interview actually says it all. And that's where we get to the heart of it. Why does a third place medal with Greece mean more than a ring with Milwaukee? Just listen to Giannis here.
Milwaukee is an incredible city, but it's 500, 600,000 people. You know, when you're able to make 12 million Greeks happy and being able to inspire the next generation, I think it's the biggest thing ever.
That's the difference between representing a club and representing an entire country. An NBA championship parade might fill up the streets of one American city. A EuroBasket medal gets celebrated from Athens to the smallest islands of Aegean Sea. It's your childhood friends, it's your neighbors, it's your teachers, it's the whole country stopping whatever they're doing to first of all watch the games and then to celebrate the victories. To further illustrate my point, these welcomings and celebrations of the national teams are just nuts. Look at how the Serbian national team was greeted after they came back from the 2023 World Cup with silver medals. Speaking of Serbians and Jokic in particular, again, the contrast of how he celebrated bronze medals in the Olympics compared to the NBA championship with Denver Nuggets.
No. I need to go home. Hello.
Now, Luka Dončić is another great example of dedication to the national team. Since he was 18, Luka hasn't skipped a single international tournament that Slovenia qualified for, not one. And that's despite him having one of the biggest usage percentages in the NBA every single season. Instead of taking a break after a grueling season, he throws on the Slovenia jersey and spends those 2 months in the off-season in the national team prep camp and then the tournament. He has even promised outright if he's healthy, he will always show up.
I will always represent my country. When I can, if I'm healthy, I will always play for Slovenia.
That was in 2022, and to this day he reiterated it a few more times, keeping that promise. Part of it, I think, is just Luka missing the European basketball culture. He said before that he prefers watching EuroLeague over the NBA, and you can feel it in how much he enjoys the style of FIBA ball. The stakes are higher, the margins are smaller, every possession matters. Compare that to the NBA regular season, where you can kinda sleepwalk through half of those games until you get to the postseason. It makes sense that a competitor like Luka wants to spend his summers playing in tournaments where one bad night sends you home. And then you've got the fans. Luka grew up in those packed European arenas with chants, whistles, boos, you name it. NBA crowds feel tame in comparison. In FIBA games, he embraces being the villain when Slovenia is playing Poland in Poland, for example, just as much as he loves being the hero when they're playing at home. But maybe the biggest reason is just simply that he loves being with his friends. He calls his Slovenian teammates his brothers, and you see it, whether it's splashing water on each other during interviews or celebrating wins. For a guy from a country of just 2 million people, playing for Slovenia is more than just basketball. And the thing is, Luka or Giannis aren't inventing anything new here. They are just continuing a tradition they grew up watching. The older generation of international stars set that standard. Take Manu Ginóbili, for example. This guy won 4 NBA championships with the San Antonio Spurs, but he'll still tell you that nothing tops Argentina's gold medal at the 2004 Olympics. Beating Team USA, winning the only non-American gold in the modern Olympics era, that was like a dream for him and his country. Or take his fellow Spur Tony Parker from France. The man has 4 rings too, but when France finally broke through and won EuroBasket in 2013, Parker admitted it was the first time he cried tears of joy on a basketball court. Think about it, a decade of NBA glory, but the only time he wept was when he was draped in the French flag. Pau Gasol was the same way too. He basically lived with the Spanish national team every summer, saying he never even considered skipping because the pride of wearing that jersey was just too special. And it paid off. Spain's golden generation won just about everything, and Pau still calls those medals some of his proudest moments even after being an NBA champion. Dirk Nowitzki, another great example. He kept showing up for Germany every year even when Mark Cuban begged him to rest, because for him it wasn't optional. He once said, representing your country is simply important to me, no matter what. And if you go even further back, you get someone like Oscar Schmidt, the Brazilian legend who flat out turned down the NBA because he didn't want to risk missing time with the national team. His line is legendary: the national team doesn't have a price. It's pride. It's what you live for. That's the kind of mindset that inspired the Ginobilis, the Gasols, the Parkers, and now guys like Giannis, Luka, and many other internationals are carrying that torch. And since I'm Lithuanian, there's been plenty of inspiring examples. Back in 1992, Lithuania had just recently regained its independence and won their first Olympic bronze medal. Lithuanian legend Arvydas Sabonis, who was sacrificing his summers even when he wasn't healthy, said this about it: the medal in Seoul with the Soviets was gold, but this bronze, it's our soul. It meant much more than just basketball. Fast forward, then you see the same dedication in guys like Jonas Valanciunas. Since 2011, he hasn't missed a single tournament with the national team. Even when other NBA or EuroLeague players were sitting out to recover or work on their game, Valanciunas kept showing up. And for this EuroBasket, he did it even after having a serious verbal conflict with one of the assistant coaches, putting his ego and personal pride aside for the greater good of the country. So, to wrap it all up, international tournaments aren't just about playing basketball for these players. It's about representing the culture, the history, and carrying the nation's hopes and dreams on their shoulders. And that's why I get Giannis so clearly. When he said that bronze with Greece meant more than an NBA championship, I wasn't surprised at all. It actually made all the sense, and now I hope you get it too. So now let me throw the question back to you guys. What do you value more, the NBA ring or a FIBA medal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more NBA takes through an overseas lens.